Hi friends, are you full of happiness or are you full of joy? Well, what is the difference? No, it was once quoted, the difference between almost right word and the right word has got a large matter, isn't it? Well, our emotional response to happiness and joy would be similar, but they are not same. They are two different things. Let me explain. Are you happily married? Well, that was one of the questions which was often asked in the recent times. Happiness depends on the happenings. If the happenings at that point in time are right, then probably you would respond to that question as yes, I'm happy. If the happenings in your life, in your marriage at that point in time, if they are not happening right, then you would probably respond to that question saying that I'm not happily married. Again, if the happenings are good at that point in time, then your answer would be yes, I'm happily married. If the happenings are not good at that point in time, then your answer would be no, I'm not happily married. Well, let's look at this question differently. Are you joyfully married? Now, the answer to this question has to be completely different. It will be different. Let me explain. The focus of this question is completely different. It depends on your overall relationship, overall happenings of your relationship. If they are going well, not just momentary ones at that point in time, it is an overall total relationship. If you are evolving in your relationship, if you're growing in your relationship, if you're maturing in your relationship, if you're making enough adjustments in your relationship, then you are joyfully married. Now you understand the difference? Are you joyfully married? This question has a completely different meaning altogether. So, happiness is the happenings in your life at that point in time, whereas joy is the overall experience, overall relationship, the total relationship in your marriage. Well, no marriage is perfect unless you are willing to make that perfect. It is the condition of your heart which will make you joyful. It is not the happenings at certain point in times that will make you happy. So think about it. Are you happily married or are you joyfully married? Let's look at another scenario, another example. Are you happily employed or are you joyfully employed? Well, now the answer to these questions, are you happily employed, would be no workplace is perfect. Again, you may not have a right boss, you may not have a perfect peers, you may not have your subordinates who are cooperating with you, and so on and so forth. We have obstacles, situations, challenges, whatnot, everything. Maybe if you are asked this question of are you happily employed, and if the happenings at that point in time, if they are not right, then you would respond to that question as no, I am not happily employed. Well, if the happenings are right, happening right, and if you are happy with it, then you would respond to that question as yes, I am happily employed. Now look at this question differently. Are you joyfully employed? Now the answer to this question could be, look at the overall your tenure, overall experience. Are you growing in your role? Are you enjoying what you do? Do you take pleasure out of your work on a daily basis? Do you love your work? Do you love to work with your peers? Not the differences, the momentary differences or issue-based differences. Do you enjoy being in the team? This all would contribute to your joy. So think about it. Are you happily employed or are you joyfully employed? So we all have to be joyfully employed. Happiness is that momentary periods at that point in time. Make sense? Let us look at another scenario, another real life scenario. Are you a happy parent or are you a joyful parent? Again, we all love our children, isn't it? But at the same time, we are not happy with them all the time. Does that mean we don't love our children? We do love our children, but we are not happy with the happenings, certain happenings in our child's life as they grow up, as life unfolds to them, stage by stage, isn't it? But overall, are you joyful parent or not? Are you proud of your children or not? That makes a difference. So let's look at being joyful, and let's be a joyful parent, not just limiting our happiness to the momentary. Let's look at overall. It's a 20-year project. If you have a child, it's a 20-year project before you could let them fly on their own wings, isn't it? So it's very important, it's very crucial. So let's make that joyful journey throughout. Then we would become a joyful parent. Momentary unhappiness would exist, momentary frustrations would exist, because no single person is same. Your expectations versus the deliverables from your child, they will never match or rarely match. Well, my friends, happiness is an outward expression of elation, whereas joy is inward peace and contentment. Happiness is temporary, outward circumstances dependent, whereas joy is long lasting, based on the inward circumstances. I hope you get a big picture by now. What is happiness and joy? Thank you.